Going on, you guys? This is All Day One on the PS4, and I'm going to be giving you guys another Ghost Recon Breakpoint video. So this is going to be my review on this game, and I have over 60 hours of gameplay. I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you guys real quick in my hours played. So I have 24 hours played solo and 29 hours played co-op. So that's 63 hours of total gameplay, which is pretty insane due to the fact that this game had released like 4 days ago, right? So 63 hours of gameplay is quote unquote no life status. No, I don't live in my mom's basement, and yes, I do work, but I was fortunate enough to only have no work, or technically I called off on one day and then I didn't have to work the next, because I don't work on the weekends. But anyways, with this game, I only watched one review, and this is after I've already purchased the game and whatnot. I haven't watched anyone else's reviews, but this game, it seems like a lot of people are reviewing it based off of the microtransactions, or at least just the guy that I was watching. I only saw his video. He based it off of the microtransactions, and that's why he was calling this game terrible, because in the microtransactions. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys everything you can get in the microtransactions first, and then explain, everything else. So when you go into the microtransactions, when you go to the store, you're gonna notice you have the featured items, weapon blueprints, attachments, vehicles, etc., etc., etc. Everything you can unlock in game, you can purchase weapons, weapon-wise. You can purchase all the weapons blueprints, not the weapons itself. You can purchase weapons blueprints, or just go ahead and unlock them in game. And the thing is, you're gonna unlock all these anyways in game. So the incentive of actually purchasing these blueprints, it doesn't really make any sense. Now, there will be a few weapons that you won't be able to actually get in game, like just from behemoths or chests. You'll have to actually do the battle rewards, and the battle rewards is free. You don't have to spend any money on that. So you get those weapons as well. You get the blueprints. Actually, you get blueprints for weapons that you can't even get in the actual weapons store, which honestly, I'm pretty sure. Let's just go ahead and look. Yeah, there are no weapons in this microtransaction blueprint bundle that you can't unlock through the, what is it called, the battle rewards. So when we go to the battle rewards, I'm just going to show you real quick. This G28 Scout Wolves, it's a signature weapon. You cannot purchase this in the in-game store or the microtransactions. Same thing with the 416 Shorty. You cannot buy any of this, any of the items in the battle pass. You can't purchase. It won't allow you to. Now, any items that you can unlock in-game, you can purchase. But like I said, that basically defeats the whole purpose of just going around completing the behemoths, completing the maps, and you're going to feel like it's a waste of money. A lot of money that you're spending on these bundles and whatnot, these weapon blueprints, because you're going to unlock them anyways, like I said. And then same thing with the attachments, the weapon attachments. You're going to unlock all these based off of the side quest, or you're doing behemoths, you're doing just different missions and whatnot. You're going to unlock all of these as well. Vehicles is its own thing, but vehicles are cosmetic. And all these customizations, you can't earn any of these in game, but these are also cosmetic. So if you really want to look like one of the 4 Wolves lieutenants, then go ahead and purchase them. It's your money. It's $10 pretty much for each character, but you don't need to purchase them if you don't want to, because they're not essential to the game. It's not going to push your gameplay. It's just going to make your character look cooler. Now, here is where things can get a little tricky, I guess, with the whole microtransactions, is purchasing scale. You can purchase 32,000 scale for basically $30. That's a huge ripoff. I wouldn't recommend doing this because you can earn 32,000 scale credits in the game within a few hours. So, I mean, unless you really, really want to throw away $30 for this, then go ahead. I mean, like I said, it's your money. But yeah, it's a total ripoff. None of these are essential. These are not going to make it or break it for your game. And then you have time savers. Time savers might be something that I could consider purchasing from the store. That would definitely save you a lot of time. But like I said, you don't need these because you'll get materials easily just from breaking down your weapons that you don't need, or just going around collecting resources. It's super easy, super simple. And honestly, that's all it is. Like, I don't understand why these microtransactions. Yes, I get it. Microtransactions is a big no-no for a lot of people, even for myself. If the deal is terrible, I'm not gonna purchase it. I'm not gonna throw my money at it because I don't want to. I mean, if it was a good deal, like if it was less, it was like maybe $5 for a cosmetic item. Sure, like for a full bundle of the cosmetic items, $5, I'll do it. $10, I'm not really worried about it. I don't really care for the cosmetic that much. Plus, my character looks pretty badass, and this is all the items that you can unlock in game, anyways. So yeah, like the whole microtransactions deal is just, I don't know. That isn't a legitimate reason on why people shouldn't purchase this game, because you don't need any of these items. You don't need any of this because you're gonna unlock everything that you're going to unlock all the blueprints eventually, just from playing the game. And cosmetics, I mean, if you like cosmetics, you can buy it then. I mean, it's whatever. It's your option. But like I said, you don't need any of that. Anyways, sorry about that rant. That is my first little thing on this review. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next part. The next thing I want to go over is going to be the UI, the map UI. So the map UI is a little clunky, not clunky, but there's a lot of stuff on it that is it's kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie, it does get annoying, but you know, you end up getting used to it. But the reason why I find it a little annoying is because it just leaves these giant squared like digital cubes or whatever on your map instead of smoothing it out. I'd rather it be smoothed. Smoothed out, and then all the words, like the names of the areas, kind of feels a little in the way. And then you have all these quest markers. Like, to me, I don't think you necessarily need the quest markers when you could just press triangle on the area and you could see the quests here instead of just leaving them on that map, because it kind of, like I said, it just gets in the way for all this. But what I do like is the fact that there's bivouacs, which are fast travel locations, so you don't necessarily have to run or fly from one location to the other. As long as you go and collect the bivouacs, or you find intel and you collect the bivouac intel from there, it makes it so much easier to just get around. Also, there is a ton to do around here. There are a ton of different locations you can discover, which are all these question marks, and I personally haven't discovered all of them yet. The map is extremely huge. It looks small because it looks like a small map just based off the UI, but the map is super big. And yes, there's the Golem Island over here, which we cannot get to. I've tried flying there. You're gonna get shot down if you try until the raid releases. But yeah, this map is freaking massive, and it's awesome. Like, even the environment looks amazing. You have a snowy area, you got a grassy area, you got like a somewhat of a desert-y area, not really a desert-like area, but yeah, you got all these different locations, and it just makes the area or the map so much nicer, and it's just makes it really fun to actually travel through areas. Sometimes I don't even fly the helicopter. Sometimes I just run, go on foot, just to enjoy the scenery and whatnot, and also kill the enemies that I see. So what's next is going to be your quest logs and everything in here. So everything with the quest log is it's pretty straightforward. It shows you what quests to do, where to go, and whatnot. You have your missions, which is your whole storyline down here. You got your side missions over here. You got the battle rewards right on the right side. You got the PvP, which is PvP Ghost War. You got your raid, but the raid isn't available at the moment. And then you have just different objectives, different like blueprints, investigations, collectibles, weapons. And I think this was done pretty nicely. It's interesting, it's different. It's not like a whole list that you have to look through, which, I mean, looking through a whole list can be pretty I guess irritating and just boring. So having all this was really nice. Now, it can get a little confusing when you are doing your main storyline. So if you look at your main story, like if you, for example, if you go to J Scale, right? J Scale, and then it's going to say unread intels. You have to make sure you read these intels in order to progress in your storyline. And even when you do read it, sometimes it'll be unread still for some reason. I don't know. It says unread for me. But you have to read the intel in order to progress in your story, so that way you can collect the new quest and whatnot. So that way the game knows that you know what to do, because the intels is going to show you like what the area looks like, what you need to do there, and what a certain item does and why you need this item. That's why you have the intels. It's not there just to be like just there. It's there because you have to actually look at it. For example, there was a faction quest that I was doing where I had to take a boat. I didn't know where the boat was or what it looked like, because there were I knew what it looked like because there were like 4 or 5 boats that looked the same, but I didn't know which boat I was supposed to take, and it was kind of scattered all over the map. So what I did was I looked at them. Oh, I don't have it anymore. But I looked at the quest that I needed to do, and looked at the intel, and it showed me the exact location, like what it was in between. It was in between like these 2 bridges in the middle of the river, or not river, but just in the water. And it had like a box on the back of it where the other ones didn't. So looking at your intel will give you hints and whatnot. And I thought that was a really unique idea of how all this basically works. The intel basically gives you tips. Now you have objectives. The objectives will basically show you what attachments and weapons you have unlocked, and then all the collectibles around you. So you can look at all these different collectible items that you have already unlocked, and you can also, I don't think it's on here. Yeah, no, not these. I think it's investigations. Yeah, so investigations will give you XP. So you want to actually go around each different area. There's going to be investigations in each area, basically, wherever you go. So for example, what is Wonderland? This is for like way later on in the storyline. You have a few different objectives or a few different investigations. So you collect the investigations, and then after you've collected however many there are, there's going to be a certain amount of XP it'll reward, and then there's going to be a collect XP box. You just click on that and you get your XP. And I think this is a pretty cool way of also gaining XP. Now, what sucks is after you've completed all your investigations, once you've completed your XP level up to level 30, and you keep collecting all these investigations, you're not going to be getting any more XP. It doesn't go anywhere. It's just gone. So I think that was a little kind of a downfall on its own. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything with the objective board. Honestly, like I said, I think the objective board was done pretty well. It's not confusing to use. It's very simple, and it's right there. It's super easy. But yeah, let's go ahead and go on to the next part. So up next is going to be the perk system and how the abilities and everything work. The abilities, the skill points, you can get skill points from literally everything you do. You can get it from leveling up your XP level. You can get it for leveling up or completing challenges on your classes. And you can get it from, completing behemoth fights and whatnot, but going around and collecting the boxes from behemoths, and just other boxes in general, the ones that have an XP symbol on them, or not the XP, the skill point symbol. These, you'll have a ton of skill points. As you can see, I have 20 skill points left over. I can get one more with my sharpshooter being completed. It's at rank 9 out of 10. There's more skill point boxes that I can go around and collect. So it's nice that they have that. Now, I wish that they had added some way to utilize your skill points, like upgrading certain skills. For example, if I wanted to upgrade pack meal, I'd be able to insert another skill point, and it'll put it to like a tier 2 pack meal, so it'll be like 80% maximum ammo increase and 20% ammo pickup. Or if I wanted to increase the, let's say, Slim Shadow, I go from plus 80 stealth to like plus 100 stealth, because 100 is the max, and then instead of 10% agility, 20% agility. Just little things where you can upgrade with skill points, because you're not going to have enough skill points to upgrade everything to max, obviously, when you have the rest of your skill points unlocked. But it would make your skill points not useless. which I think is the only thing that really sucks. Is your skill points are useless. Now, who knows? Maybe Ubisoft will make some type of way where the rest of our skill points are actually useful and be used for anything else. Even if it's just to like donate to something, I think it would be useful. But aside from that, I mean, it's pretty awesome. Everything in the skill point tree is really good, or most of it is really good. Not all of them. And you can also choose and pick and choose whichever class you want to play as. You don't have to stick to one class. You can always you can purchase all 4 of them, and you can change them anytime you go to a bivouac. So these little camps, right, where is it? I'm lost. Right over here. So like these things right here, rest in bivouac, you just go to a bivouac, and then it will allow you to basically just switch your class. Well, here I'll actually just go ahead and sorry about that. I'll actually go ahead and show you guys real quick. So you'll go to the tactics tree or the tactics menu. When you go to the tactics, you'll just be able to select any of the classes you want to play as, and this will definitely make it a lot easier for you to just switch. Now, it would be pretty awesome if you could just switch in your menu, like in your actual inventory, like if you just clicked on here or something, and then it would allow you to just switch instead of having to go to a bivouac. But I guess that could technically also be a little game breaking, because you could just go from you could just go play as one thing and then switch to a field medic if you know you're about to die, so you can resurrect yourself and whatnot. But yeah, this is pretty awesome to have nice little loadouts here. And you can also have loadouts here, which are presets. Now, the downfall about presets is your weapons get locked to that certain preset, which is fine, I guess. But as you level up, you might want to end up selling stuff or break stuff down that you don't need anymore, and you won't actually be able to break stuff down or any of that. And they'll be set to all of your classes. So you'd have to go to each one of the different classes in order to switch your weapons. As you can see, these are all different weapons that I've had that I have on my other classes, and then I'm using this one on my sharpshooter. So I'd have to go to each class and switch out my weapons, and just to my highest ones, just so I can delete the lower ones that I don't want anymore. So that's, to me, that was another downfall on this. But aside from that, everything else was really good. And anyway, since we're already here, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the bivouac. So the way the bivouac system works, I know this, I'm kind of like doing a little quote-unquote guide, but I want to just show you guys how everything works and how I really enjoy everything that works in this game. So you have a garage, and you don't necessarily need like an open road or anything for this. All you have to do is just click on the garage, and you have a helicopter, a default helicopter, so you don't need to purchase one. You have vehicles that you don't need to purchase, or you have the Landscape Mark II digital. I don't know if you get this in game or not. I'm pretty sure you do. And then you get this from the Ubisoft Club, and then I just bought the sports car because it looked cool. Kind of looked like my car a little. And then you have the Trail X, which you also get for free, I believe. But anyways, the helicopter, the Overseer Standard, it's so useful because it's so fast. It's so fast, and flying around areas to get from one point to another, you're going to be using this helicopter so much. So that's why I think this whole the garage system is awesome, and the fact that you don't need to buy a helicopter is even better. You have a shop system as well, so you don't need to fast travel all the way back to Erewhon if you want to purchase stuff or sell stuff. You don't need to go back here. You can literally just come here and purchase everything you want, or anything you wanted to repurchase. And while we're in the shop, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys pretty much all the blueprints that you can purchase. Let me just buy my rockets real quick since I'm at 0 to 6. Alright, so the blueprints, all of these here, you unlock in-game. The only ones you do not unlock in-game is going to be the MP5 SHD. And I believe you also won't get the M4A1 Assault Valor, which is terrible. And the Scorpio Scout Quiet, which is it's okay at best. It's not that great. So the only really good one is the MP5 SHD. But if you've played the Division 2, you're going to be able to unlock this, and this is definitely one of the best SMGs in the game, for sure. This sniper, the Scorpio Scout, and the... where is it? The M4A1 Assault Valor are not really good at all. I mean, it's fine weapons in the beginning, but the M4A1 is just terrible accuracy and handling wise. It's just bad. And then the Scorpio Scout is just a little too weak for a DMR. It's all right for it. It's good for a DMR. It's just it doesn't have enough rounds for the right DMR. You'd be better off just running like an MA2 or HTI or TAC 50, Recon A1, just literally any other sniper. But yeah, and then there's other things you can unlock in game, like you can get the G28 Scout, which comes from the battle rewards. You can get the Silver Stake or the Sharp Thunder for beating the last boss, the Flycatcher's P90 for completing the one of the bosses, the Zastava for completing that boss. And the thing is, when you purchase the items that have like for example, mine says 225 out of 225 instead of the 225 out of 227. These are considered signature weapons, and they're kind of like exotics. They're like legendaries and whatnot. They have like their own special perk to it. So I'm gonna just go ahead and buy the Zastava so I can show you guys. So it's an automatic yellow. It's called a signature weapon, and it gives you ignore enemy armor, which makes this sniper one of the best snipers in the game. And then if I were to buy, like let's say I buy the HTI, I might not get a yellow. See, I got a purple, and it's 225 as well. And it doesn't get a special perk to it. It comes with its own perk. So this one came with plus 15 meters of auto marking and plus 20 accuracy, which is still pretty good. But yeah, you can unlock all these in game, and then you can also purchase you can just purchase random gear and random weapons. But the blueprints, yeah, you just unlock all these in game. And then you have your crafting and your tactics, which crafting allows you to, just craft items or grenades and whatnot, which you can unlock these grenades from your perk tree. And then you have your recipes as well. You can craft all these different consumables. I have yet to actually really utilize any of the consumables since I haven't really needed it, but I'm not going to say it doesn't help. And then you have your preparations. So preparations allows you to give yourself a free boost. Yes, free boost. So you can increase your injury resistance by 40%, fatigue resistance by 80%, drone speed by 40%, stamina by 20%, accuracy by 20%, or you can get yourself an initial 10% XP bonus for those of you that just want to get that little extra boost in your XP gain. So I'm personally going to go with accuracy bonus. You get an hour of this boost, and the thing is, when you go back to your bivouac, you don't have to re-put this. It just automatically refreshes. Even if you're at like 30 minutes remaining, it'll refresh it back to 60 minutes, which is pretty awesome. So that's pretty much everything. Oh, and one more thing, you have a day and night cycle that you could put for yourself. So if you want to wait, if you want to go around the world and fight stuff at nighttime, you can set it to nighttime, which would be like 9:34, 13:34, 17:34. It'll be around nighttime, like pretty much anywhere after 9. Not 9, because this is not 9, that's AM. Pretty much like the 21 or 1. I think these two would be earlier, but those would be around nighttime. But anyways, you can set it up to day. This is how you change your day and night cycle, which is also really awesome. It really changes your gameplay style. I'm going to be a little review on the graphics. So instead of just talking about the menus and everything now, we're going to go over all the graphics and textures and water and sound and all that good stuff. Something that you guys are probably worried about, maybe. Anyways, there is some bit of a rendering issue sometimes. For example, when you load in the game, sometimes your gun won't be in your hand, which isn't that big of an issue. You just have to wait a couple seconds and then your gun will reappear in your hands. And sometimes enemies won't necessarily... no, I wouldn't say enemies won't spawn. Enemies generally are always there anyways. But the graphics of this game doesn't necessarily look like current gen, I guess, graphics and whatnot. Maybe if you're on PC, it looks obviously it's going to look way better. But honestly, for this big of an open world with this much terrain and trees and buildings, weapons, characters, people, NPCs, whatever, the game looks and it runs pretty freaking good. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just I think it does pretty well, honestly. And I just gotta recustomize my weapon real quick, just so I can show you guys some kind of gameplay for gunplay gameplay. But anyways, yeah, the graphics honestly looks amazing. The sound, the ambiance sounds really good. It depends on the area you're at too, because I'm more in like a jungle like area, so you're gonna hear crickets, you're gonna hear birds, you're gonna hear the wind, you're gonna hear everything, and it sounds pretty awesome, especially if you have really good headsets. And then you can hear footsteps as well. You can hear the bushes rattling. So, you know, if you're doing PvP, you're going to be able to hear people going through the bushes. You're going to hear their footsteps. Depends. I mean, they'll probably end up killing you by the time you hear all that. Enemies, they can also hear footsteps if you're running around like this. They can hear your footsteps. That's why going to stealth mode, they can't hear you. And I think that's a pretty awesome mechanic. Obviously, that's like the Ghost Recon mechanic that pretty much all Ghost Recon games have. Yeah, the sound though, sound ambiance, the graphics looks amazing. The music for this game is not that noticeable. I haven't really noticed much of the music, but I don't think it's terrible. I'm pretty sure music only plays once you get into combat though. And also, obviously, I'm also in stealth, so I have a stealth perk, so it makes it to where these enemies can't actually see me. But the thing is that I kind of have an issue with a little sometimes is the bullet drop. Whoops. The explosion sounds really good, and the enemies can also hear your explosions as well. And then they'll also go and check out where the explosions happen. What's also pretty cool is when you're flying a helicopter and you land it somewhat near enemies, they'll also hear and they'll go to that helicopter. So leaving that helicopter there and just using it as bait is pretty makes it pretty awesome, honestly. You can have a bunch of different little tactics. Now for gunplay itself is pretty, it doesn't feel terrible at all, honestly. The recoil works pretty fine. Sometimes it feels weird when you're shooting. Whoops. I don't want them to hear me. But yeah, so it depends on the attachments you have on your weapon, and it depends on the weapon itself, but the recoil, as you can see, it's not bad at all on the Vector. And for most guns, kind of like realistically as well, you don't want to hold your trigger down. You want to burst it, right? You don't want to hold it down forever. Some weapons you can burst it or you can hold it down forever, like the most SMGs, which is why I prefer using SMGs anyways, because it's just a lot easier to handle. But things like ARs and LMGs, they kind of have a bit of a heavy recoil. But like I said, if you just burst them, they're strong weapons, so they'll end up killing the enemies pretty easily. And then snipers, the bullet drop on the snipers is kind of, it gets pretty tough once you're around 300 meters. And the thing is, when you do your challenges on the sharpshooter, you have to get a 400 meter kill and a 200 meter headshot kill. Two of those 250 meter headshot kill. And that was kind of tough, but I did find an area where it's really easy to get these kills at, the 400 meter kill and the 250 meter kill, because you kind of have like an open space and the enemies always respawn there. So if you mess up, you just close your application and reopen it, and just enemies, or not close, but log out and log back in, they'll be there back. The only issue I'm having right now is the fact that the sharpshooter challenge is bugged out on the kill 20 enemies without being detected. That one's, I mean, I don't know if it's bugged out or if I'm just playing terribly, but I killed like 40-50 enemies without being detected and it still didn't work. But yeah, the gunplay, the sound, the ambience, the graphics, everything to me looks awesome, especially in comparison to other open world games. Now, obviously, this is a AAA game, so I guess the expectations were much higher. But I think, I honestly think they did really well with the graphics in game, as well as the cutscenes. The cutscenes, oh my gosh, the cutscenes look freaking phenomenal. I'm not talking about just the dialogue cutscenes. I'm talking about the cutscenes of the story. Like when you see other people's storyline and your own storyline, or your just just pretty much the cutscenes in general. It freaking looks awesome, and I don't know how to really explain it. It's just the cutscenes, the graphics are crazy. I'm just gonna kill these guys real quick. And another thing I also want to mention is the prone system, prone camo. I think it's a really unique add-on. Now, what I think would have been a little bit better is it would be better if you have to actually go into a location where you have to look hidden, like in bushes or something, instead of just being in dirt like this. Now, if the enemies do come up close to you though, then they'll end up finding you. But like this guy, he's not going to end up seeing me here until he gets a little closer. But when he gets a little closer, I could just stealth attack him since he's the only one left. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that real quick. So you do have some time to do all that. Another thing I want to mention is the melee interactions. So I think the melee interaction is a little too long, too tedious, especially when there's a group of enemies. Like you're at an enemy's encampment or something, and you're taking them out one by one, but you want to do it with knives. I think it would have been a little bit better if they made it a little quicker, or at least with the Panther class, to make it to where you don't have to do that whole animation rather than just a stab and go type of deal. I think it would have been a little bit better. But anyways, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about with this review. I know it's not super organized, but because all this is coming out the top of my head, right? I don't have a script to read off. Plus, I don't have a computer to really edit these videos, so I have to kind of like get them in one take. I don't really get a chance to edit anything out and whatever. But yeah. Hopefully this review helps you guys out on your decisions on whether you want to get this game or not. Yes, there are good and bad things. Like, there are going to be bugs in this game. All you have to do is sometimes just close the application or log out or get yourself killed if you're stuck. But there will be bugs and issues. But the game, I think, is great. I know a lot of people are scared of purchasing this because of the reviews, but literally everyone that has played this, almost everyone that I have talked to that's played this, or that's come onto my streams to watch me play, and are also telling me about this game, how much they're enjoying it. I mean, it's crazy. Like, seeing all these different negative reviews, I think it's pretty stupid. But yeah, don't let the microtransactions be the reason why you don't purchase this, because you don't need the microtransactions. But anyways, that's pretty much it with this video. Hopefully it helped you out. If it did, go and leave a like, comment, subscribe. I hope it did. And make sure you guys leave that like button. Comment if you have any questions or concerns, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Have a good day, good night, and peace.